Hi, I am Therese Marie Paran.
I am Johanna Sepe.
And I am Cristel Freglo.
Name is Chris Chicudilia and I am one of the faculty members in the science department under the Institute of Teacher Education. Basically, we are already practicing the hybrid type of modality. So it's never a question about the integration of the digital literacy or the inclusion of educational technology. Because as what we have practiced, especially in the Institute of Teacher Education, that students should be proficient in both the traditional and the technology-driven type of class. So from what I have required everyone, especially in crafting, especially in my major subject now, the what is our major subject, Gani? Teaching the specialized field, which I require the students to craft lesson plan both electronic and in written, and then they have to present it no in an online setting, which require them to craft activities and other areas in the lesson plans or in the lesson that should be in an online modality or by using different technologies or educational technologies. So I planned it basically by first of all, since we are to parallel our standards towards our clients, no, which is our clientele, which is the Department of Education, which also requires the inclusion of digital literacy in the classroom. I planned it in parallel to their standards, no. That is why most, or it's not actually just most, but a good percentage no of my classes is done in an online setting or by using the different technological modalities.
Good evening. I am Jarcy Grima Labdaab, a part-time instructor at Davao del Sur State College. Well, about that integration, I was told before that the best way to integrate something is to study an existing framework related to integration. There are a lot of frameworks related to that, such as interdisciplinary, transdisciplinary, and there are differences when it comes to that. But another way for that on how will I able to integrate is first I have to know my students. I have to understand the diversity that they have in so that um, I could have a differentiated instruction. So first is understand the existing framework, and second is to have a differentiated instruction by understanding my student diversity, and third is of course to study first the different or to study first the different newly invented literacies.
Okay, so from the previous academic year, I have actually utilized different virtual laboratories and even learning management systems, no, in aiding the class because again, unlike now that we actually utilize the hybrid, but before or during the pandemic and post-pandemic, no, we actually are more on the online classes. So it's never an escape no to utilize technology. So what I have done there, especially on science related subject, is natay mga I use virtual laboratories, no, especially in chemistry, no, but simple laboratories so that students are still will be immersed, no, even though there are an absent of or there is an absence of physical laboratories, but still students are did receive the opportunity to still have or to conduct their different laboratories.
About the second question, the best way for me to give an example is first is to have a virtual class. So especially that we are more of technology nowadays, so we have to take advantage of it. For example, I'm gonna have digital reading and writing since I'm more into English. My field is teaching English, so I also have a multimodal literacy and collaborative online learning. So, in a way that I have to utilize digital tools and platforms for collaborative learning experiences. So, I have to encourage my students to work and to make sure that um, they are able to utilize this technology in such a way that they can learn at the same thing. So it is not just for fun, for entertainment, but I always make sure that this technology is used through learning and teaching process.
So by utilizing different assessment method, especially in the mode of like Google Forms, no, napod tayo ka ng with it, no, in which no, even though the content is about the topic that I teach, but still, no, the modality is through technology. So that is why we can actually assess as well if our students knows how to use it kay makita man pud nato na naman po'y output. So it simply means that they know how to use the technology. So for those na who don't know pod, um, makita man pud nato, especially on if some will actually skip some of the parts of the quiz, especially ng kanang mga sa bottom part na nay mga next, mga pang na whether na necessary i-click ba para ma-move sila sa next document or next phase kay makalimtan nila. It simply means that nagyapon sila or kailangan i-improve with their literacy, especially in utilizing technology. And kuan pod as well, about researching online, no, that is actually another one that we can identify in the digital literacy because it's not about just the manipulation of technology, but the students are required not to filter information coming from the internet. So that is one also that we need to consider if we are to utilize digital literacy. So from the data, no, based on the assessment results using technology, that I utilize it, no, especially on those students na baba og mga scores. I utilize it to improve, no, my practice, especially in making my class, no, kanang as easy, no, especially in navigating technology para po dili mawala tanan, but still nagya po incorporation of things na medyo lisod-lisod para po ma-challenge ang lang una-una.
Well, with the assessment data, I have to analyze that one first so that I could set an individualized goal. And later on, I could also set a grouped goals po. So collaborate with colleagues. I could also I'm not also closing doors when it comes to asking help with my heads, with my teachers, or what do we call this, knowledgeable others, because I believe that they could also help me since I'm still new in this field, so I still have to collaborate with others when it comes to analyzing this data. So I also have to strategize. I also have to modify my teaching strategies. That is why, if you have observed, I always make sure that weekly or every week I had to differentiate my teaching strategies. There are this utilization of different techniques, and of course, I have to consider the multiple intelligences of my students as well. So in that way, I could incorporate those. I could make sure that through the analysis of data, I could be able to understand why is this working and why is this not working.
Hello, I am Sheena Marie A. Quinto, a fourth-year student at Labrador Sur State College. I am taking up a Bachelor of Secondary Education major in Science, and I am doing my practice teaching internship at Matanao National High School. So we are all living We are already living in a digital world and traditional literacy skills are no longer sufficient. So, dapat inahinay na nato og introduce kining mga new literacy sa atong mga students to prepare them for the future. And incorporating this in demo teaching can be a great way para makatuon sila. So what I do is I integrate technology in the class, if not regularly, mga twice or thrice a week. So ako ang ginapa-research online ako mga students. And knowing ako mga students is grade 8 pa lang. So bago pa lang ni sa ilha ang mag-research. So nagtuon pa lang ni sila. So gina-encourage na ko sila to browse the internet safely. And if magkuha sila information, i-make sure nila nga gikan to siya sa credible sources. And also, I told them nga dili basta-basta magkuha og information nga makita nila. Dapat i-assess nila if trustworthy ba to siya nga information. And also, I employ multimodal learning because science can be boring sometimes, especially kung ang students is dili familiar ana ang mga terms. So na mga panahon nga magnganga mga students kung magsilang ka og discuss. And so, I use mga videos from YouTube. I use images, simulations, infographics to enhance their understanding and engagement. And also, through this, they will become familiar with these new literacies. Ug di na sila mabag-ubaguhan if makasugat sila ani.
Hello everyone, I am Karil A. Breta, 22 years old, a fourth-year science major student, a pre-service teacher assigned in Matanao National High School, and as a pre-service teacher, I analyze first the students' need before I incorporate new literacies. The next thing I consider is its appropriateness and relevance to the objective and the availability of the materials. So, as what I have observed before my final teaching demonstration, I have noticed that that incorporating technologies is effective in students' learning process. So, I incorporate reflective discussions and interactive activity to encourage students' interaction, and it is also effective in capturing students' attention.
Students have different level of proficiency, including in new literacies. So some of them are advanced and some of them kay beginners pa jud. And as a teacher, you need to be flexible in delivering your content para ma-meet ni siya nga mga needs. So what I do is I use pre-assessment tools para mahibal-an ako ang mga existing knowledge sa mga student. Take for example, I used picture analysis. So, ipa-assess na ako kung unsay nakita sa mga students sa picture. In that way, mabalaan ako kung asa pa dapit or asa pa kutob ang knowledge sa mga students about a certain topic. So, through that, nabalaan ako kung unsa nga approach ako ang i-employ. Also, as what I have said earlier, besides sa mga traditional text-based materials, I include videos, simulations, mga virtual labs to accommodate their needs. Kaya some students kay mas maka-learn by watching videos. Some of them kay mas maka-learn through online simulation. So, it's important nga mag-employ ka og mga multiple approach to cater the needs of the students. And lastly, I offer scaffold learning. So, I break down this complex task into smaller steps para sa dili makuya-kuyawan ang mga students. So, I provide them guided practice and gradual release of responsibilities sa ilahang learning.
To meet the diverse literacy needs of the students, I employed a differentiated instruction approach by offering various learning strategies and scaffolding techniques. So for example, in doing a group activity, I will present the instructions in a written form and let the students to read it out loud in order to cater the different or various student senses. So in doing or during the activity, so in a student-centered approach, I facilitate the learner's needs by roaming around and cater their questions and clarifications about the activity in order for them to complete the task successfully, so that the students can demonstrate their understanding and progress in mastering the new literacies.
So based on my observations sa ako ang class, mas engage ang student if feel nila included sila or ma-experience nila mismo ang klase. So I employed interactive online simulation or mga online games about our topic. So I allow them to navigate digital resources by themselves, like katong nagklase mi about digestive system. So I used simulations and gipapuli-puli na ko sila answer using the laptop. In that way, they develop a sense of ownership over their learning, and also they actively participate or very engaged sila sa amo ang klase.
To actively engage the students in developing new literacies during my final teaching demonstration, I employed interactive multimedia presentations such as game-based activity or game-based strategies. So I presented to them the game called Guess the Word in the Picture. So this allows a more engaging and interactive way of presenting the lesson. Next, I presented a video presentation about the topic, and I let the students summarize the lesson from the video and let them answer the following questions I have provided.